Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and I'm not alone. I'm joined by the superb Felix and Xeon.
No, not again. We're the crazy mutation.
Again, what have you done to us?
I almost just said your names one after the other. Yes, an Indie World and a Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase have just happened. And as is tradition, we're going to take you through and let you know what we think of things. We're not going to be covering everything or mentioning everything, but we're just going to get straight in with the stuff that we do want to talk about, starting off with the Balatro, the funny card game with Jokers, DLC, Friends of Jimbo. It's a free update. It's available later today, and it includes content from The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Vampire Survivors, Dave the Diver, and Among Us. And this is the sort of thing that we would have included in that fake direct we did. But this is actually real.
Yeah, I know this game is like a big deal for a lot of people. I've still not played it yet myself. I know you both have. But this putting together this like massive collaboration feels like it would have been a lot of work, and kind of like what you were saying, like a bit of a fever dream or like a pipe dream to see this be real and free and also drop today. That's nuts.
I love seeing The Witcher 3. It's just my favorite indie game. So great.
Your favorite indie game?
Yeah. No, it's just, I mean, with Gwent and everything, that kind of makes sense in a way. And I just did not expect them to team up. So good start. And they kept the steam going with Never.
So this is by the creators of Gree. It's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just finished the game they just made before I finished it here like 2 weeks ago. Such a good game, and I'm really, really excited for this. It looks like there's a bit, in the first one there isn't really combat. It's just like there's just platforming, that sort of stuff. So here they are expanding a bit on what you can do, and I don't know if it's going to be longer. I mean, previous game is quite short, and here it's just, yeah, it looks great. If you play the game, play it with headphones. At least that's what I did previously, and it's just the sound design and music are just on a whole other level. So 15th of October, that's soon. I'm very excited.
Yeah, this is like, it's easily one of my most like anticipated games of the year, just because of like all of the different moving parts, right? The music, the art direction, the wolf, and like the way that you'll be able to bond with it throughout the game and see it grow. It seems like even in the demo that Alana and I played at Summer Game Fest, there were some moments that pulled at our heartstrings already. And I feel like it's just going to get more and more sappy and sentimental as you play the game.
I never actually played the original Gree, but I always wanted to, and suffice it to say, this game looks like it's going to be surpassing it in terms of like an artistic level. So yeah, I'm all down for this one. Never say never.
Except for on October 15th.
Except for on the 15th of October, you're absolutely right. But coming just a little bit later in spring 2025, not the past, we have Moth Qubit, which is, well, my notes just say mystery, insects, Earthbound influence.
Yeah,
this
game has like a ton of crazy different gameplay styles. I think out of the entire like indie showcase, I think this is the one that I would be like jumping out of my seat to play right now, because there were like shoot 'em up elements. Felix, you were really surprised by the way that like you could like shrink down your character.
Yeah,
and like
it's just a cool gameplay like element, and
yeah,
like you said, there's just so much different stuff. It's also why, the Plucky Squire is very intriguing to me, just because there's so many different gameplay elements and just mashing. It looks like one of those games that I had the same feeling when I saw like Animal Well, and I have not as strong here, but I think it's going to be a very good game that's going to get a very loyal fan base.
Yeah, even if it's got like some bugs, some bugs to work out, it does look like it's just going to be a fun thing. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one.
And moving on, we have Coffee Talk Tokyo, which Felix, I believe you're the man to talk to about this, because for me, I've got to be honest, I looked at it and I went, yep, that looks like Coffee Talk again.
I mean, I haven't played Coffee Talk, but I do know of the game, and I do know that it is a very beloved game, and this just looks like, now it's in Tokyo. Yay! I think it looks great. I don't know what else to tell you. I still have to play the first game, and this just looks like more Coffee Talk, but in a different environment, which, I really like the title. It's very fun to say. Coffee Talk Tokyo. It's just, that's nice.
But there is another title that you're also pretty stoked to talk about, isn't there, Felix?
Yeah. What is it, Xeon?
It's the Sea of Stars DLC, Throes of the Watchmaker.
Yeah, I'm really, really stoked about that. So you said that this DLC was already announced. I had never heard of it, so I was just like, wait, what? DLC for this? I had not thought about it. And it's free. Coming out spring 2025. That's, I mean, when it's free.
It's a freebie.
Yeah, freebie.
Oh.
So that's really, really interesting. So yeah, I'm very excited for that. Sea of Stars
it's great too,
because awesome
it looks like it picks up kind of like towards the end of the game. You meet a couple different characters, and you don't really get to like talk with them or like have long, long engagements with them or anything necessarily. But now they're finally like kind of coming into their own in this DLC. So yeah, it looks really exciting. I'm pretty stoked to just dive back into this world.
Yeah, I'm excited if it'll change like the story, if it's something independent, or because to me there was some parts of the story that didn't quite hit the mark in the end. So yeah, I'm excited to see if that changes anything. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Do you know what else we're gonna have to wait and see about?
What is it, Alex?
Well, in the autumn we've got. I don't have the full title. I've just written down in my notes: Power Wash Simulator Shrek. It's just a Shrek pack for Power Wash Simulator, which, I mean, they've done just about every other IP under the sun that isn't Nintendo. So I can't say I'm entirely surprised, but at the same time, did anyone expect this? Did anyone anticipate this?
Don't think so.
I mean, it does make a lot of sense, but no, I never would have put this on a bingo card.
It's really
would
weird.
Shrek want it cleaned?
It's just,
that's a good point. Yeah. Well, maybe that's why you're not cleaning mud, is because you're cleaning like colorful, like pink and yellow and blues and stuff, and like Shrek wants it to be.
That's true.
He wants to be back to the mud. Because I was
funny if you just, instead of removing mud, you just put mud on his entire head.
That would be great.
I just like the idea that he doesn't even know you're doing it, and just at some point you're going to get a very poorly animated Shrek coming out with like a voice double going, "What are you doing in my swamp?"
I really hope it happens, man. I really do.
Someone's going to make a video about that. Yeah. Moving on, we had Morsels coming out in February 2025. This is essentially just a top-down shooter, but at the same time, it's so much more. Your character seems to be able to, like, evolve as you get new things, because there are some presumably roguelite or roguelike elements in there. They didn't explicitly say as much, but there are pickups. You get to pick between two. Classic roguelite experience. And it seems to physically change your character as well, which is pretty damn cool. Visually, I think it's overwhelming, but only in a good way. Also, Pigeon. It
is quite gross in that sense, but it's satisfying, right? And you can tell that there's a lot of it's going for a certain direction that maybe won't like land with everyone, but there's real style there.
Absolutely love it. It's probably my favorite like visually game from the whole thing. It just grabbed me. It was just wow. Yeah. I want to play this just because it looks so good. So really excited to see what this game has in store, and of course if it's any fun.
Yeah, I remember really enjoying the music from like the startup of the trailer as well. That any trailer that can hook us with music is always a good thing.
Just like the next game, which is Peglin. So
right,
yes, it is.
That had some great music. Not saying that at all because I know the composer.
Yeah, because you chat with him, right? You're friends, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great dude. And I was just like, wait, what? I know this music. What? It's in the dark.
That's great.
And the game looks just really cool.
It looks really fun too. I've seen this game like talked about online before, and I'm pretty sure it's out on other platforms, but I've never played it. But I'm a huge fan of Peggle, and we still don't have Peggle, like any Peggle games on Switch right now. So sign me up, baby.
Yeah, I love the look of this game. The art style it's just adorable, but at the same time not like going too far down the cutesy aesthetic. It's reasonably sort of neutral to look at as well. I just think it's a really lovely looking game. I think it's a really interesting way of blending two ideas, but without either one of them necessarily getting too much in the way, instead playing off one another and creating something entirely new. And much like you, Zion, I'm a big Peggle fan, so anything that scratches that itch is a big win in my book.
The game went kind of viral when they first released it back in the day. So he told me a story. When they released Peglin, they put it all on Steam, and then very short after, he got a call and he was like, wait, Peklin is #1 on Steam. It's above Elden Ring right now, which was just like, what? That's insane. So yeah, it was quite surprising how well this game did and has continued to do, and really, really cool that it's now on Switch. Can't wait to play it.
Yeah, that's cool.
What else is coming to Switch in the autumn is Metal Slug Tactics, which they announced, I think, back in, it's a while ago now. It must have been the 90s. And it is finally coming. It's finally, we finally heard some more about it. We know that it's coming in the autumn now. I got confused because there was another Metal Slug game that was talked about.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Recently, and I was like, oh, I thought it was called Tactics. It turned out to just be another unrelated Metal Slug spin-off.
Yeah. So this one just was supposed to come out in 2023, and then I don't know what happened. But now we know it's coming out this year, and that's very exciting because the game looks really cool.
Yeah, the sprite work looks really, really nice. The soundtrack is being done by T. Lopes, the Sonic Mania composer. And I mean, he's known for so much more now than that. But it does seem like it's going to be a really good time.
And then the last announcement they had, and the surprise announcement, Pizza Tower is not only coming to Switch. By the time you watch this video, it's probably already out on Switch, which is... that's pretty great, to be honest. I remember seeing so many people talking about the game, and I was thinking, oh, well, it must be out on Switch as well, and it wasn't, and, you know, time went by, and now it's finally coming, and I was just like, oh, yeah. When they did that sort of, like, bit in between, you know, that when they do those, I don't want to call them skits, but those talking moments, and he's like, where did you get that pizza? On that tower over there, and it's like, wow, somebody had a deadline to reach with that one.
I mean, this is awesome. I've really wanted to play this game and I just haven't been able to because it's on Steam, but only for Windows. And yeah, wouldn't you believe it? I have a Mac. Great stuff. So finally, it's on Switch and I can play it. Yay!
Yeah, this does seem like, for Nintendo fans especially, this seems like a game that would have been like a perfect fit for the Switch from day one, because it has so much like, I don't want to like just say Wario Land or Wario. Yeah, I guess. A bit of Wario Land.
Yeah, Wario Land influence.
Yeah,
it's all over it. You know, it's its own thing as well, but there's clear inspiration there.
Yeah, it's so over the top, so fast paced. Like just the art style is so like unhinged, I think is the word that I want to use to describe it. But it's very lovable all the same. And yeah, I'm really excited to see like why in the hell everybody loves this game so much.
We then moved on to the Partner Showcase. Same thing again, not going to cover everything, but we are going to cover the first thing they announced, which is Tetris Forever, which includes a bumload of Tetris games. I wasn't able to write them all down, but it includes the Famicom version, Tetris 2 plus Bomb Bliss, Tetris Battle Gaiden Hatris Super Bomb Bliss. Yeah, it's a real thing on the Game Boy. And also a new mode, which is called Tetris Time Warp, which has you changing between the different game modes, the different rules and styles of different Tetris games. They didn't go into enormous detail, but yeah, I think this looks really exciting. There's also a new documentary, which features, among others, Alexei Pajitnov, and it's coming out this year, but we don't know when.
Yeah, this is insane to me, because it's like to my knowledge, we've never received like a big Tetris collection in, like, I can't think of one in any shape or form. And to see that Digital Eclipse, the team that did Atari, is it Atari 50? And the Jeff Minter story, they're the ones that they're the ones putting this together.
They know their onions.
They really do, and it looks like such a quality project so far. And that documentary, I'm of course really excited about that. I think Hank Rogers is in there as well, who like helped bring Tetris to the masses. Yeah, this is going to be a really cool thing. I'm curious. Did we see exactly how many games? Like, is it only that chunk of like 6 or 8 games or 5 or whatever? Or are we getting...
I think there are more, but I can't... They just had a splash screen with a load of games.
Yes. I can go find it really quick.
I wrote down what I could.
So, from what I can see, we have Tetris, Hatris, Tetris 2 plus Bomb Bliss, Super Bomb Bliss, Super Bomb Bliss DX, and then Tetris with...
That's Tetris Battle Gaiden.
Okay, Tetris Battle Gaiden. Super Tetris 2 plus Bomb Bliss. Super Tetris 2 plus Bomb Bliss again. Huh? It's just in gold. And Super Tetris 3.
Oh, cool.
So those are the Tetris games,
yeah,
all right.
You can see them on the screen.
If any, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not like that big of a Tetris fan, so like all these just sound like new to me, except for I've heard of Hatris, but Is that the one where you play with
I've
hats?
heard of Hatris. I just haven't heard of Bombliss, and apparently I've been missing out on a lot. I get the sense these are a lot of Japanese releases because they were talking about the Famicom version, and like everything has Japanese text on it.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
And Super Tetris 2 plus Bombliss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Tetris fan. I've always been very open about that. I don't like Tetris.
Tetris.
Do you like Bombliss, though?
But I will say the presentation of like how you play the games with the TV around, that's lovely. I love when they do stuff like that. So I'm very glad for all the Tetris lovers. It's just not me.
I'm looking forward to this. I think it looks really cool. I like the different styles you get to see. You almost get to see like a almost an ASCII style in the four-way thing. Yeah. I think it looks really cool. And we're also getting Tetris on NSO.
Yeah, that's good.
Hold your applause, please. That really did feel like.
Oh, but I was just about to applause.
It's just like it's Tetris, my guy. It should have been out a year ago. It's just the NES version of Tetris. It's like the basic one. I wonder if you can go past that point because there's like breaks on the old version, doesn't it? But this is emulated. I don't know. We could we could speculate for a while. Next up, we had Star Overdrive, where you ride a hoverboard in 2025.
Actually, I was really surprised by like how smooth the like the hoverboard like sections looked. Like it looks like one of those games that it's going to be a lot of fun to surf around in the sands, kind of like I guess like in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. The combat,
what are those?
I'm a little just video games.
I've not heard of those.
Yeah, they're all right. I'm the combat in this game looks way better. No, I'm just kidding. I'm nervous about the combat in this game though. It looks a little slow, and I think that's what I mean is like the hoverboarding. Like it looks so tight and fast paced. So yeah, it like I kind of like I don't know. I'm really excited about this. I don't know why yet. We'll see. I hope I'm not wrong. Also, is that the Dune worm?
Yep, this is the new Dune game.
Didn't invent big sandworms.
Right. Of course, sandworms in general. That's true. Oh yeah, they have those in Breath of the Wild. Is this just Breath of the Wild? Is that what this is?
Oh my God, they fooled us all. If you pause the video, you can see it's just Breath of the Wild.
It's just a Molduga.
Like there's Link right there, and there's the Ultra Hand.
Anyway.
Hey,
slightly off topic.
Oh, I feel like I'm losing my mind.
Actually, too, while we were talking, they just actually announced a brand new from the ground up remake of the first Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky game called The First, which I know to us is not a big deal because we've not played them, but we do know that like people love this series so much, and they announced it like in not a sizzle reel, but kind of.
So it was very sort of fleeting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, hey, here's this. It didn't explain what it was very well, and then it just...
Yeah.
I mean, it's really nice. I always love when they go back and remake like the first game in the series, just so newcomers, like it's an easy entry point for those. And yeah, that's just awesome. They did the same thing with Metroid Prime Remastered. I mean, the original one still great, but the fact that they went and just did that, you could try it, and now I've played it and it's great, and now I just want the other two games also remade. It's gonna be, come on Nintendo, come on.
And this, I will say as well, this does seem like the kind of game that like the people that do play it don't shut up about it, and I think I mean that with respect, and like and I thank them for that, because they're probably the reason why this game is getting a remake in the first place. So maybe we'll finally get to give it a shot.
We could also have a shot at it's not highlighted on our list, but Worms Armageddon Anniversary Edition. We knew this was coming. It was kind of leaked beforehand.
Oh, did we? Yeah.
There was a listing. Yeah, I remember seeing it over on NintendoLife.com, where it was actually only earlier today. Yeah, it was just rated for Switch, and Armageddon is probably the best Worms game. It's a little bit contentious. Growing up, I always preferred 2, but I think that was just because that's the one I had, so I had to prefer it because loyalty and all that rubbish. But yeah, I they've tried reinventing Worms so many times, and it's never really worked. So just going back to Armageddon, I'm like, yep, absolutely, yeah, just do it. Drop a concrete donkey.
It's kind of like Tetris in a sense, where like the formula for Worms is just really solid and still satisfying today. So it would be nice to see them just like go all hands, like, or, you know, throw everything they could at like a brand new Worms game in that style, like a battle royale Worms.
They sort of did something like that, and unsurprisingly, it didn't work.
Yeah,
it was like Worms Rumble Blast or something like that. I can't remember, but it was like a side-scrolling real-time thing. It's like, this isn't what Worms is. You have just changed everything that Worms is.
Yeah. Goodness.
I think it was basically dead on arrival.
Oh, that's so sad. Well, at least this won't be, because we all grew up with Worms, didn't we?
Yeah.
Honestly, out of context, that sounds terrible.
Oh no! I did not even consider what the. Yeah, my dog had worms, and so did we.
Moving on, we got SpongeBob SquarePants: The Patrick Star Game, which was also leaked beforehand. I think this was like last week or maybe at the weekend or something.
Oh man!
Again, it was like a rumor that went around or something like that. It's a physics-based game. It's coming out on the 4th of October 2024, and that's all I wrote because I don't care.
I was surprised. I will say I was surprised. Like, THQ Nordic are the ones that have been publishing and producing all of the like SpongeBob games lately with Purple Lamp. They did the most recent like Cosmic whatever, and then the rehydrated Battle for Bikini Bottom remake. And now this one's being published by THQ, or not THQ, Outright Games. And I don't know if we know the developer, but the game looks pretty fun so far. Outright Games doesn't always publish the best games, right? Like, they published the Bluey game, and they just have a lot of stinkers in their library. So that has me a little nervous, but
I'm also fairly confident that what we saw in the Direct, and I'd love to be proven wrong, but I'm fairly certain what we saw was not Switch footage.
It did look very good. I was quite surprised. But
yeah, 60 FPS. No, I'm sorry.
The game I think it looks pretty fun. It looks like, it reminds me a lot of the Simpsons, like GTA style game. I can't remember what it's called. Something.
I nearly just said Road Rage. I should slap myself on the wrist for that. Hit and Run.
Hit and Run, yeah. That's what I thought it was, but I was like, did they just call it Simpsons Hit and Run? Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of that, and it's just nice to have like GTA style games, but like, you know, for younger people. I couldn't play GTA until I was 18 because my parents would let me, and good for them because now I'm playing it, and oh boy. There's
some content in that game. Those games, rather, I should say.
There are.
I get what you mean, though. Just like a game where you can kind of run around a city, right, and explore and get up to nonsense, but somewhat family-friendly nonsense, right? Because this game's probably going to be rated, you know, fairly low for kids. Right? right, guys, right?
If not, it would be it would certainly be exciting if it wasn't. But what's also exciting? Capcom Fighting Collection 2. Personally, didn't we already know about this, or did we just know about Capcom Fighting Collection?
I think it was Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, which was announced. But
which this is new. Afterwards. Yeah.
So not only did I scream about the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection because of MVC 2 is in there, I also lost my mind when I paused and was staring at the screen the whole time during this because they cut this trailer so well. They were like, this Capcom Fighting Collection 2 is going to have 8 Capcom fighting games. And I was like... And then they showed a 3D game. They showed Plasma Sword or something, and Rival Schools. And then moments later, they ended it off by showing Power Stone 1 and 2. And if you've not played those games, they're fantastic brawlers. You jump down into a kind of arena, and your fight it's up to 4 players, and there's items everywhere, and it's super chaotic. And it's basically lived and died in arcades, the Dreamcast, and the PSP, and that is it. It's never been brought back ever, 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 ever. So this is basically the Power Stone collection and the Sega Dreamcast fighting game collection. There's so much good stuff here. I realize I'm foaming at the mouth about this, but it's going to be great.
I'd love to see you so excited about something, and we watched the showcase together, and it was just the joy that you had when you saw this. I'd never heard of Power Stone before, but I mean, I saw on Twitter people were going just crazy about this. So
great.
Yeah, awesome. Very glad for those people.
Good, good. I'm glad people like the people that know, and eventually we will all know because I will force us, or I will ask kindly if we can all play this together. So
next up we had Atelier Yumiya. And then there was a load of other stuff after the title, which I did not write down in time, and we just jump into this straight afterwards. But I got the important things in there. Atelier Yumiya.
Yeah, it's cool to have a new game in the franchise with a brand new character, because we've had Ryza for like 3 games now at this point, which is, I know people love her, but it's nice to see them doing something new with the series again.
Yeah, it was. I remember we were both like, "What the hell is that pose?" In the end, oh my god.
Oh yeah, yep, right. They know what they're doing.
They apparently also know what they're doing with Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remaster, and then even more words afterwards. I couldn't believe it, so I haven't got those written down just because I genuinely thought that was like something unrelated. I was writing things there, typing away like a madman. But this is coming out on the 6th of March. 2025, and it's Suikoden 1 and 2, baby.
It's nice to finally have a release date for this too, because kind of like what both of you were saying about Metal Slug Tactics, it's nice to finally have something locked down, because this game was announced quite
that's a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. Okay,
like we've known for a while, and they're very, very beloved. I hear people just saying the second was just like the best game ever. So that's when you say stuff like that, I get quite intrigued. So and it looks good. I really like the way they are remaking, or the art style. I love that. Alex, stay away. We don't talk about it this time. Let's just move on to the next game. Yeah.
What, Castlevania Dominus Collection?
Yes.
And this is cool.
Has Dawn of Sorrow, Portrait of Ruin, and Order of Ecclesia in it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's out later today. Possibly already now.
This is great, because all of these games, this was one collection that I thought the Switch would never get, because they're all Nintendo DS titles, and I've never played. I don't think I've ever played any of them, but I assumed that they would have some kind of like DS specific kind of control schemes that maybe would just require them to not be able to jump over as easily. But I'm proven wrong, and I'm also really surprised that they're just dropping today. I do hope that Konami and maybe like Limited Run or something will release like a physical edition too, and they've done that in the past with all their other Castlevania games. So who am I kidding? They probably will. But yeah, I think it's going to be nice to see these on Switch so soon. My gosh,
it's just around the corner. Unlike Sid Meier's Civilization 7, which is coming out in February, which admittedly still isn't too far away. It's the 11th of February. I really like the Civ games. I've never delved into them with any like significant time, but I've always enjoyed what I have played of them. I've seen some mixed discourse about this one, but if they're making changes, I'm sure they're going to be I hope they're going to be for the better.
Yeah, I haven't played a lot of Civilization. Well, my dad made me play Civilization because he played it a lot and he wanted me to try when I was growing up. It didn't really stick with me. I think it was the part that, is something he was really excited about. And I was just like, Dad, I don't care about this. This is boring. So no, I think if I tried it out now, it looks fine. It's just I'm not sure it's my cup of tea, but I know it's a very, very, Alex really likes them. A lot of people really like them. I mean, they must be good because they've made 6 games prior to this one. So it's good.
Apparently, what else is good, guys? Is it Tales of Grace's F remastered?
Yeah, this was it first came to the West on PS3. I think it was a PS2 title originally. Maybe it was PS3 first and foremost. I don't know, but the West got it on PS3, and that's when I played it. I don't have like a ton of like memorable memories of this game. Is that a phrase you can say? Can you
memorable memories?
Memorable memories.
Can you? Yeah.
The Legend of Zelda Memorable Memories.
Wow. Cool.
Tautological tautologies.
But it is nice to see this coming back, because I think this is kind of a fan favorite for a lot of people. But yeah, just more Tales is a good thing. But I'm curious, what do you guys think of My Sims? Is that I've never played any of the My Sims games, but
I'm loosely aware of them, and I don't know what on earth they're thinking to be re-releasing these games. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with the games. I think they're a bit mid personally. Wow, I sound like a young person. But
yeah, I've heard they're kind of skibbity, aren't they?
They're Ohio or something.
Oh no.
But yeah, I just don't know if there's that much to them to warrant being.
I mean, it looks like
re-released.
these new remasters have quite a lot of Riz. So like, I don't know.
Okay, guys, it can't be real that the 22-year-old guy here has to put the foot down. Stop.
These look like straight ports to me, at least in terms graphically, because they've still got some harsh edges and they don't seem to run that well, at least in the trailer, which isn't encouraging. Isn't that a delight? It's coming out on the 19th of November. I just wonder who's asking for this. Like, I imagine there are people out there with nostalgia for these games, absolutely. But would they, sort of want to buy it again? Or would it be sort of like, oh yeah, I remember those. They were okay. Would they want to double dip? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, prove me wrong in the comments.
There's probably like a lot of people who grew up with them and there's like, oh, nostalgia. I need it again. I don't. So what's the difference between My Sims and just regular Sims?
It's a completely different game.
I think, it's
like,
very
genuinely, it's completely different.
Very inspired by Animal Crossing. It's more about making friends, from what I recall. Like, I used to read up on these games a lot when I was a kid because I was so excited about this because I loved The Sims and couldn't play it as much because my mom was like, "It's scary" or "It's not good for kids." But I was like, "Oh, this is great," and then I just never played them. So I probably will give this a go when it comes out, but. There's so many other great things in this direct though. So,
but it's a lot harder to woohoo in My Sims, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it if it was impossible.
It is impossible. I was just doing a funny joke.
Thank goodness.
Moving on, we've got Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma, or Azuma, I don't know.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They did say it out loud, and I didn't write it down phonetically. More fool me!
I still don't know entirely what this is. Like, I know it's a spin-off of the Rune Factory series, like kind of like a new a fresh start for the series in a sense, because Rune Factory 5 didn't really land as well as people had hoped. So it looks like they're trying to do something more story-focused. This time less. I mean, I know the Rune Factory games don't have character creators traditionally, but they're really pushing the story and they're pushing dance in this one. And I'm not sure how I feel about it yet, but it looks pretty. It looks like it runs really, really well. So that was like, give them props for that. And it comes out in spring of next year. So we'll wait around for it. It'll be fine.
Yay.
It certainly is. Do you know what else is coming out on the 24th of October, 2024?
Yeah.
Yakuza Kiwami, which I wasn't sure what this game was originally. I was like, is this a new game? Is it a remake, a remaster? It is just a port of the PS4 game.
Yeah, so it's a port of a remaster or a remake of a PS2 game.
Yeah.
But it's really good. They added. I played this many years ago, and it's a great starting point for anyone who's interested in the Yakuza series. You get to play as Kazuma Kiryu and go run around Kamurocho and all the different parts of Japan that the game lets you. And it's a good time. It's a really fun time. So I highly recommend, if anyone's curious about the Yakuza games, give this a go. As long as it runs well on Switch, which it seems fine so far. I mean, it's not like a real looker, but it's not. It's not as bad as, like Goat Simulator 3 or Funko Fusion
we specifically didn't mention those for a reason. Phew-wee!
Yeah. But
it's really cool to have Yakuza on. I have not yet delved into the games, but I know I will play them one day, and it's really nice to have on Switch because these games tend to be quite long. I don't know about this one, but I know like the most recent one or something was very very long.
Totally
Do you know
right.
how long this game is?
I think it must have taken me like 30 or 40 hours, but I played this probably like 5 years ago now, so my memory's a little foggy. But the story is engaging enough and there's so much to do in the world itself that it doesn't feel like a chore either, I'd say.
No, awesome. Well, we don't have to wait long. October is so stacked with games.
For real.
Not even funny.
For real?
I mean, September, no spoilers for a video coming out later this week, but September is absolutely rammed as well. We had to be really mean in the September games video. But before we get to September, I would like to invite both of you to rate this whole thing, thing, out of 10. If you'd like to split it up to give a bit more detail and then give an overall score, you can do that.
All right, I'll split it up. I'll start. Indie World. I really liked the Indie World. There was so much just fun stuff. There was also some stuff that I didn't. It started out really good, and then there was just a lot of... I would give the Indie World 7. The Partner Showcase, though, really didn't do anything for me, at all. There wasn't anything that really excited me, so I think we're down at, I don't know, 5. Well, I know that's low, but yeah, it was quite rough for me. Yeah. I know that a lot of people are very excited for it, but yeah, I'll give it a 5.
That averages out at a 6. If any maths fans out there. Xeon, what about yourself?
So I really like the indie world a lot. I think the variety was incredible this time. Even just the quality of the games on offer. It seemed like I feel like there has to be something in that indie world for everyone out there, unless if you're looking for like an indie first-person shooter, I guess, then maybe you didn't get your cup filled from that presentation. I think I would give it an 8. There's a lot of stuff in there that I want to play. And then the Partner Showcase, it's tough because I really, really loved this showcase, but so much of it relied on remasters and nostalgia, with like stuff like Suikoden, Castlevania, the Capcom Fighting Collection, even Tetris. Like the Legend of Heroes thing is cool. It's really incredible that we're getting a remake of that game, but is also it's rehashing on old territory. Even My Sims, Cozy Bundle, right? So I think, while it did make me really happy, I think I would probably give it a 6 just because they just gave us too much old stuff.
That averages out at a 7. Look at me, aren't I good at the maths?
Thanks for doing them. We need someone to do the math, so wish us luck when it comes to you.
The Indie World, I really liked. I enjoyed it. There's a lot of fun stuff in there, but at the same time, a lot of things, you guys have already made a lot of the key points.
Sure.
That we already knew about. There's a lot of things like, even some things that maybe hadn't featured in previous directs, but just been announced, like last month and stuff like that. Sort of games being ported over. But I still really liked it. I would give it a 7 because the highs were very high and the lows weren't too low. The Direct Showcase, on the other hand, there just wasn't a lot here for me, to be honest, full stop.
Yeah.
When it came to highlighting in the list, I think I highlighted 1 or 2 things. There was just, don't get me wrong, I'm not annoyed that any of these things are coming over. Star Overdrive looks good. Tetris Forever, I'm excited by as well. But yeah, it is so heavily focused on remakes, remasters, and stuff we already knew about. And it's just underwhelming as a result. And I think that actually, to be honest, I've got to be honest, I think I'd give it... Well, I give the Indie World, I can't remember if I said, I give that a 7, I reckon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the Direct Showcase, I think I'd give it a 4, honestly. I would say it's below average.
Yeah. So is that a 5? Is that where we're at then for you?
It's no, it's a 5.5, which we don't do in real life.
Ooh.
I would like to up the Indie World to an 8 just because I've been looking over it and,
Now you're going to have a 0.5 as well.
Well, then we can add the 0.5 together and get the ultimate, the full score.
Is anyone writing these down?
Yeah, so mine would be 7.5.
Okay.
No, what?
Mine would in theory be 5.5 and yours would be 7.
7.
I think? Yeah, 7.
Add them all up, divide by 3, is that right?
6.5, Felix.
Yeah, 6.5, sorry.
6.5, 7.5, 6.5, 5.5, and 7 is 19.5, I think.
Well, there you have it. Perfectly.
There you go.
Yep, that's the final score. Out of 10, so it was really good.
Hang on, that can't possibly be true. Because it's 2 halves added together. It must be 20.
Well, even better. It's double 10. It's outstanding excellence. Well, yeah, very good.
Actually, it's just 19. I've just done the maths. Hey, I've just disgruntled my ancestors.
It's interesting that we loved the indie world so much more than the direct, and I'm not saying that I think it's theoretically, right? It's like the indie worlds are usually the things that are like less exciting for a number of people, and I'm kind of it's kind of nice that we felt so much more satisfied by it, because I think the indies really
indies are just so good.
Yeah,
so many of the games I love are just indies, and
context.
I don't know why I don't get more excited for them, but I always watch them and I left with a good feeling. It's like, wow, there's a lot of stuff there I really want to play. So good on you, indie creators. Do not stop.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for doing what you do.
Well, there you have it. But what are your thoughts? Did you enjoy the partner showcase more than we did? That's fine too. Let us know with a comment down below. But for now, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you rate that subscribe button a delicious 10 out of 10, despite it doing nothing. And be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.
So does this mean we're all going to play Peglin and Pizza Tower today now?
Yes.